Sales, service, installation, certified heating, LLC, quality services at affordable prices. Call 708-283-4695.
There are over 6,000 work zone crashes each year in Illinois, and almost 30% cause injuries. Changing conditions and unexpected work zones can present a challenge to even the safest of drivers. Failure to move over and obey work zone speed limits can put lives at risk, whether worker present or not. Injuring yourself or others, it's not a game. Visit itsnotagameillinois.com to learn more.
We're talking with Father Mike Pfleger. Unless God calls him, we're not letting him go until I'm gone.
I tell you, Michael Louis Pfleger is a G. I'm telling you. He is a G. He is a G. I told him over the break, my pastor, John Hanna, he's a G. But when he stands next to Michael Pfleger, Michael Pfleger is the G.
The G.
The G.
Let's take this break for Black Information News. And Candace, tell us what's in the headlines when we come back. More.
Hey, Candace.
Father Pfleger, it's always a pleasure to hear from you.
It's the WVON Morning Show with Rufus Williams on 1690 WVON. WVON is everywhere you are, on your radio, on your internet, and now, hey Alexa, play WVON 1690 AM.
Getting WVON 1690 AM station from iHeartRadio.
Try it out for yourself. America is listening to WVON. When news and information comes to you from every direction, the one source you can trust the most is the commentators. You want politics? You need Kimberly Agoin. You want to be updated on the latest women's issues? Check out Yolanda Joe. Carl West has business covered. And Abdul Hakim Shabazz comes at you from the right. Listen for a guest commentator every Friday. The commentators, weekdays at 9:20, 5:20, and 11:03 p.m. Only on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Me no choice. I'm leaving. Uncontrolled high blood pressure is really serious, and lately you seem to really not care. I've been there for you since day one, and I know you think I'm gonna keep ticking, but no, my friend, I can quit whenever I want. Why can't we get back to the good times, when we were more active and ate more healthy foods, and you checked on me every once in a while? Is that too much to ask? I don't want to leave, but unless you stop ignoring me, what else am I supposed to do? Remember, when I quit, you quit. Sincerely, your heart.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. Doing the minimum to control your high blood pressure isn't doing enough. High blood pressure can lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get your blood pressure to a healthy range before it's too late. Find out how at heart.org/bloodpressure. Check, change, control. A message from the American Heart Association, the American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
Over the past 2 years, Cook County Treasurer Maria Pappas and her Black Houses Matter show on WVON has returned more than $100 million to Cook County homeowners.
$142,250,369 to date given back in the African American community.
That's a whole lot of dough. Listen every Monday at 11:30 a.m. to Black Houses Matter. Spread the word. Maria Pappas is on the air every Monday, and she's bringing that bag to the station where it pays to listen. We're WVON.
What a wonderful world. Yeah, it's a wonderful world.
This report is brought to you by Napa Auto Parts. When your ride fires on all cylinders, so do you. That's why Napa is on a mission to keep you in motion. With nearly 6,000 Napa Auto Parts stores and over 17,000 Napa Auto Care centers, the Napa network has everything you need to get up and go.
It's time for Black Houses Matter with Cook County Treasurer Maria Pappas on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
This morning.
I see trees of green.
David Gordon, yeah.
Red.
Hey, Chicago. I got a mask on because I got dental work and I look like a weirdo. So I got my mask on. I can barely move my mouth. Think to myself, yeah, what a wonderful, wonderful world. We're kicking ass here on WVON. Get this. $143,627,209 returned to the African community because of the WVON program. Bellwood, $4.8 million. I'm going to give you some of these suburbs. Call 773-591-1690. Get on Facebook Live. You can see Pappas in her mask because she had dental work, and my mouth is still crooked. Broadview, $2.4 million. Calumet City, $10,864,000. Country Club Hills, $3.7 million. Harvey, $3.5 million. Markham, $3.5 million. Matson, $4.3 million. Maywood, $4 million. Park Forest, $5 million. Hey, in South Holland, $6 million. How about that? Give it up and call 773-591-1690. I just had dental work and I'm chewing gum. How sick is that? Get that gum out of your mouth, Pappas. I got David Gordon with me this morning. He doesn't have a bow tie on. Yeah. Why don't you have a bow tie on, David? That's your signature thing.
Yeah, I know. It's a little warm outside at the moment, but I'll be getting back into it shortly.
You mean when it's hot out, you don't wear bow ties?
No, I don't.
Why?
Just not in me to do so.
You mean bow ties make you hot?
Yeah, because I wear the sweater vest with it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
We're very proper here. Very British. All right. Listen, we turned out a study, and get to cookcountytreasure.com. For those of you who are on Facebook Live, this is what you would see if you got to cookcountytreasure.com. You would see a blue box on the left that says Pappas Studies, and what you would be able to do is download the red lining study. It made 750 media outlets nationwide. And lo and behold, Warren Buffett just settled a redlining case in Pennsylvania for $20 million. How about that? We were 2 days ahead of his settlement. But the redlining homes in redlined areas were nearly 3 times more likely to be seriously delinquent in property taxes in Chicago. And Pappas Studies will outline for you every last detail about this redlining study. Fundamentally, it shows that houses that 80 years ago were not loaned money by banks are the same houses that are now on the Cook County scavenger list and are the same areas that 400,000 African Americans have moved out of and are the same high-crimed areas in Chicago. And we make 16 recommendations on how to fix this. So, if you don't have anything,
good.
Yeah, you get on it. You don't want to read the 40-page summary. It's amazing. Just get on Hal Dardick did it, and Hal is in my office and is part of heading up a research team which is studying the inequities in our property tax system and other matters. So get to cookcountytreasure.com, read the executive summary. Okay, so let's switch a minute to good news.
Ooh, we could use a little good news today.
We need good news. We need good news.
Yes.
You know, I was at Newberry Library. They had their yearly book sale. I bought a $30 book for $5. Do you know what the book is about?
What is it about?
All different kinds of ways to cook beans. Red beans, white beans, black beans, navy beans, green beans, lima beans. And I was so excited.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Can you, if you have pinto beans, can you shoot a picture of it and let me take a look at it?
I'll bring the book tomorrow and you can.
All righty.
You can iPhone whatever you want out of it.
All righty. Very good.
And I sort of was at Lapalooza. Yeah, sort of. I got pictures of some of the people walking down Michigan Avenue half naked. That was interesting with pink hair. I remember those days.
Yes.
Like redlining 80 years ago.
All
right. Okay. And I went to a new restaurant at Navy Pier. You got to go there. It's called Reunion. And I had fried chicken, and my husband had fried catfish. Oh, Grits. Art Smith, Oprah chef, and my friend Manny opened this restaurant 10 days ago, and on the 10th day they served 1,000 people. They're killing it over there. So get over to Reunion. It's where Bubba Gump used to be. On good news, get this. You can reduce your risk of Alzheimer's if you keep moving. Hello.
Oh, wow. That sounds pretty good. I'm moving. So far, so good.
Yeah, I just had these 2 knee replacements, and I can do 10 miles on the bike, 2 miles on the elliptical. And I walk back and forth to the office.
Very good. Keep up the good work.
Yeah, it looks like I may not be in the Alzheimer category soon. But get this. They're complaining that Chicago doesn't have lifeguards. Spain figured this out. Yes.
We have no lifeguards?
Well,
what are we doing wrong, Chicago?
Well, they don't have waiters for restaurants and cooks. Nobody wants to get out there and work. But these Spanish have figured this out. They created drones as lifeguards. So these drones fly around, and then if they see someone who's in trouble, they throw them a life vest. The drone drops a life vest. So there is an actual video of this drone saving this 11-year-old kid who got caught up in a huge current, and this drone, instead of a lifeguard swimming out there, and maybe him drowning too, dropped this kid a life vest, and he got back to shore. How about that?
That is awesome.
Yeah,
that is
so
really awesome.
Listen up, City Hall. Get some drones.
Yes, we need them.
With life vests. This is a really good one. So Red Lobster, everybody knows Red Lobster.
Oh, yeah.
The chain Red Lobster, right? So I love lobster. Red Lobster in Hollywood, Florida, gets their lobster delivery. And there's this kid working in the kitchen, and his job is to cook the lobster, to steam the lobster. So he's going through all these lobsters to find one lobster that is a different color than the other lobsters.
What was the color of the...
It was gold and red combined as compared to orangey. And
Interesting.
This kid says, wait a minute, there's something wrong with this lobster. So he goes to his boss. He says, boss, look at this. This lobster looks really different. So they call the aquarium. Now the aquarium comes in. And the aquarium says, this is 1 in 30 million that a lobster would turn out this color. The lobster has now been removed. It is in the Myrtle Beach, South Carolina aquarium. If you don't have anything to do, you can go there. And how about this? In Haiti, a 22-year-old man is going by a garbage can. He hears a child murmuring. He picks the kid up. He's adopting the child. He and his 66-year-old mother. How's that?
That is wonderful.
I would stop and take the kid.
Yes,
would you?
Yes.
I
That
would.
child
In a
is
hot
truly
minute, I'd take the
blessed.
kid.
That child is truly blessed. Yes.
Yeah. I would love to have a 2-year-old running around.
Awesome.
That would be fun. That would be more fun than the 52 people that work for me. Okay,
Alrighty.
there's a Chinese restaurant. And so in this Chinese restaurant in the front, people keep looking at the sidewalk because the sidewalk looks weird, Titus. Titus is the guy behind the scenes. He's looking at me like I'm really weird talking about a Chinese restaurant. But there is this huge footprint on the cement. So they bring in a paleontologist. This is a guy who studies all these ancient dinosaurs and everything. And
Love him.
He says this is the footprint of a 100-million-year-old dinosaur who 100 million years ago was 26 feet long. So now they have closed off the footprint of the dinosaur in the Chinese restaurant, and the Chinese restaurant is getting all kinds of business because the Chinese are coming by to see something that is 100 million years old. Call 773-591-1690. We have Kimberly Houston Moore on the line this morning. Hey, Kim.
Good morning.
Hi, Kim.
Good morning.
I got David Gordon here, bow tie-less. No bow tie, too lazy to get dressed up.
Yeah, but I got some boats on anyway.
He's got sailboats on it. How are you, Kim?
I'm well, thank you.
Well, tell us first, before we go into how much money you got, a little bit about how you found out about this.
Actually, I was watching television and they had the telethon. The county office had the telethon going.
ABC 7, Samantha Chapman, we did $26,410,692. We have done 6 phone banks, and we're getting ready to do another one in the fall. That 26 million, incidentally, is part of the 143 million, but we're just knocking it out here. Yeah. So you're watching TV and you say what?
I decided I would give it a try. I wasn't really very hopeful about getting through, but I decided I would give it a try. So I wrote down the number and I called and I did get through. And the people were, there was a lady who was extremely helpful.
Do you know who you talked to?
I wish I did know, but she was very, very helpful. She looked up my name and my address. She gave me all the information. There was a little glitch in some communications, and so she fixed it for me, and she sent me the forms, and all I had to do was look them over and sign them and send them back. And after that, not long after that, I received a check. She went back 4 years for me.
Okay, so this is really important to help WVON listeners. How old are you, Kim?
I am 64.
Okay, so now listen up, VON listeners. You do not have to be over 65 to get money out of us. You do not have to be over 65 to get money out of us. You have to have lived. Call 773-591-1690. Rashida's answering the phone. You have to have lived in a house for over a year. And it is a matter of trying to educate everyone, including the African American community and millennials.
Yes.
And millennials.
Yes.
Because they don't know that for every year, after a year that they live in a house, they get what's called a homeowner's exemption. And it's worth, on the low end, $500 a year, and you can go back 4 years. So here's Kimberly. How long have you lived in this house, Kim?
I've actually been here 11 years.
Yeah, see, that's the pathetic part of this.
Yeah.
We only go back 4 years. And if it's not claimed after 4 years, it goes back to the government. It goes back to the government. That law should really be changed. You know, hey, Springfield, listen up. Change the law so people can go back for as long as they want to. But the important thing here is that we are trying on this program to let people know. Kim, did you know anything about homeowners exemptions before you listened to Channel 7?
I didn't know very much about them. I didn't know that they applied to me. But when I saw it on Channel 7, I decided to find out if it did. And I was very thankful that I called in because I found out that it did.
Where do you work?
I am recently retired. I was an art teacher.
Oh, how lucky. Where were you an art teacher?
Chicago Public Schools.
Which school?
Fort Dearborn.
And what grade?
Nice.
What a great school. What year of children did you teach?
Oh, I had from the kindergartners all the way up to the 8th graders.
Wow. Well, tell us a little bit about your art program. WVON just doesn't want to hear about money. They love to hear about interesting people in this city who make it work. How many years were you an art teacher?
Yes.
I was an art teacher for 10 years, and I did a lot of integrated projects with the regular classroom teachers because it's been found that the arts are not only just, I think a lot of people think of it as just something extra, but they really do enhance and actually teach some of the skills that the regular classroom teachers are trying to teach. And so I spent a lot of my time partnering with my classroom teachers with the skills that they were trying to teach and presenting them to my students through the arts.
When I first came to Chicago, I was the protege of a very famous psychiatrist, and his name was Rudolph Dreikurs, who was a student of Alfred Adler. And Rudolph had a wife, and her name was Sadie Dreikurs. And she started teaching art therapy classes. She used art as a medium for children who were troubled, families that were having difficulties. Did you ever come across such a thing?
Yes, I did.
Well, tell us about it.
The arts were very helpful. Students were able to calm themselves down. It was a very calming experience for them. They were able to express some of the things that they felt. We did projects on, for example, we would just take the word anger, and they were able to just sort of explore it. And through their artwork, they learned a lot of things and wrote a lot of things. And we found that it was very therapeutic.
What if you were to go back over your 10 years at the school? Give me one of the most impactful things that ever happened to you there with a student.
I think the most satisfying things with my students are when teachers came back and told me that they were teaching certain subjects and that my students would chime in and would participate and talk about the things that they had learned in my class and how it related to what they were learning, the skill that they were learning in their classroom. I think that was the most satisfying for me.
Making progress, making progress a step at a time, huh?
A step at a time. And then my students that came back and told me, oh, well, we're in high school now, but art is so easy because we knew all that stuff already. That made me feel pretty good, too.
You know, I would have a hard time being an art teacher. I wouldn't be able to figure out what the lesson plan is for the next day. Do you know what I mean? How would you figure that out?
Well, art learning art is scaffolding just like in regular classrooms. So it's one skill built on another, Mm-hmm. So they learn a little art history and a little method and they get to talk about art and read about art. So
this sounds so much more. You sound so much more fun than the Chicago where all the shootings and murders and carjackings and rapes and robberies are occurring. You sound like the mother of all these kids who makes Chicago a better place, an unsung heroine. I'm so proud to hear you talk. I'm proud to hear you talk.
They were my children when they were in my room. They were my children.
Yeah, I can tell. Are you a mom?
Yes, I am.
How many
I have 2
kids?
adult children.
What do they do?
Adult. My daughter is a digital strategist in Dallas, and my son is working in the restaurant industry.
I know you're proud of them.
Yes, I am.
All right.
Uh-huh. So you end up getting $3,122. $3,122 from this call-in to Channel 7's phone bank. What are you going to do with it, Kim?
Well, I'm going to do a little something nice for myself, but I think I'm
you got to tell the truth. What are you going to do for yourself? I had a massage yesterday.
Yes, something like that. Some self-care, maybe a nice facial or something. But I think the most of it I'm going to keep for rainy day. Repairs, things in the house that break, things on the car that break.
Uh-huh. Let me ask you something. You
Very good.
gonna go visit your daughter?
Yes, I am. I'm very excited.
Oh, you can take some of that money, go visit her, huh?
Yes, yes.
Are either one of the kids married?
Neither one are married. They're both single and working hard.
How you feel about that?
I say take your time, see the world, do whatever you set out to do, explore, and then settle down and get married, because when you have children, they become your life.
Yeah. You know, these kids aren't getting married young anymore, are they?
No, they're not. They're not at all.
I know so many kids that are waiting until they're their late 30s, and most of them I know are all, the fertility people are making a fortune right now.
They are.
Hey,
they are.
Huh?
Yeah, they are.
You know a lot of people who are doing that fertility stuff?
Yeah, I've heard about it.
Yeah, it's not like I'm just pregnant anymore. It's like I got a fertility doctor.
Yeah, you need a little help.
Yeah, I need a little help, and you know what? I'm going to do 2 at once. They're having twins and triplets and all kinds of things. Yeah.
That does seem a lot more common than it was when I was young.
Yeah, well, no, when I was growing up, nobody even knew what those kinds of doctors were. This is like a recent specialty. You know what? I got to tell you, after this COVID, these kids have a real hard time going out and meeting people.
No, that's very true. They do a lot of online dating, which I don't understand, but
Yeah, what's
New
that
day,
one?
new way.
Tinder? Is Tinder where you swipe one way and you swipe the other way? You swipe right if you like them. You swipe left if you don't like them. I tell you something. Our daughter came home one day. She said, I met somebody. I'm like, seriously? She said, yeah. I said, where'd you meet him? She said, I met him on Tinder. I said, what's that? So she starts telling me, I swipe left, I swipe right. I said, you just saw a picture of this guy, that's it, and you're going to go out with him? She said, yeah. So she ends up going out with him. And then she's dating this guy, and she calls me up and she says, he's from France. I'm like, is he a citizen? She said, yeah, but he's from France. I said, okay. She said, you know, he has a pressure cooker and he wants me to go over there. He wants to make some food for me. What do you think? I said, well, you go over there, you mind your business. I mean, just eat and, you know, don't make a night of it. And get some food and see what he's like. So anyway, to make a long story short, after 7 months, she brought this guy home on Christmas. She said, this is him. This is who I'm dating. She doesn't say that they're serious. She just says, I'm dating him. I'm just like, okay. So now, Kimberly Houston Moore, they start talking French in my kitchen. I went in the bathroom and I started crying. I came out. My husband said, what's the matter with you? I said, what do you mean what's the matter with me? She's going to marry this guy. And you know what? They got married. How about that?
Oh, my.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Meets him on Tinder. Has some pressure cooking food. What? Starts talking French to him. Brings him to my house. And she marries him. I'm like, I can't even believe this is happening. I can't believe that this happened to me. So now I got a grandson. And he comes over on Sunday, and he's in French immersion school for the summer. So I say to this kid, you know how to count to 20 in French? He said, yeah. She starts counting. He's 5 years old. I said, that's very good. Okay. I said, you know how to count in Greek? He said, yeah, I know how to count in Greek. He counts in Greek. Then he says, I'm going to tell you something else. I said, what's that? He said, well, you know what I learned in daycare? I said, no. He said, I learned how to count to 20 in Spanish. I'm like, seriously? This is a 5-year-old. What kind of a world are we living in? This is a 5-year-old who's counting in 3 different languages to 20. I'm like, really? How different is this from when I was growing up, huh?
You'll have to learn
Very
French
different.
now.
Yes.
Yeah, I got to learn French. I got to learn. I look like a French lady. Okay. Kim, do you belong to a church?
Yes, I do.
Which one?
My church is the New Original Church of God in Christ.
And who's
on 78th and Cregier.
And do you have the opportunity to go there, or are you online listening?
Presently, we're still remote.
Mm-hmm.
I miss them a lot, though.
Yeah. Let me ask you something. Is there any way for you to get the word out to your church that we actually have this program and that they may be missing some of their exemptions?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, we are doing a campaign to get the churches in the city who are online to recognize. Actually, we are doing mosques and churches. That is Titus. He's calling me with Louis Armstrong's son because he's trying to cut me off. I'm giving away $143 million. I just gave you $3,122. I'm having a good time talking to you about art therapy and who my daughter married. We're getting cut off on WBON, but we will be here next week at 11:30. Big shout out to my good friend John Daly. I think he's listening to me this morning. I love you guys. You're the best. And David, I can't wait for you to get that bow tie back on.
All righty. I'll get it back on. Take care, Kim.
Bright and blessed day, the dogs say goodnight.
The talk of Chicago and the voice of the nation. 1690 WVON, Berwyn, Chicago. The WVON lineup, chat room, blogs, photos, podcasts, and more on the World Wide Web at WVON.com.
And I'm Ray Harris on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Flooding causes a state emergency in part of Virginia. People in Southwest Virginia are dealing with major flooding and has left multiple people dead. Several inches of rain fell in the area for multiple days. Many residents were told to leave their homes. Governor Glenn Youngkin issued a state of emergency to help with response and recovery efforts.
Some kids across the country are already back to school, and many more will be going back within days. But CNN reports less than half of kids and teens have gotten their COVID-19 vaccine. The Black Information Network's Mike Moore has the details on this story.
Most parents of young children are reluctant to have them vaccinated against COVID-19. That's according to a new survey from the Kaiser Family Foundation. According to the survey, 43% of parents with children in that age group say they will definitely not get their child vaccinated. 53% believe the vaccine is a greater risk than the actual virus for their child. Only 7% of those parents say they have already gotten their child vaccinated. Another 10% say they want them vaccinated as soon as possible, while 27% want to wait and see how it works in other young children. I'm Mike Moore on the Black Information Network.
Multiple women at an Indiana jail are filing a lawsuit against correction officers working there, alleging sexual abuse. Here's what one of the lawyers had to say.
Women were harassed, sexually assaulted, threatened, and completely terrified. When I met with each and every one of these women, and they broke down repeatedly, you get an impression, an understanding of what these women went through.
The Black Information Network's Bree Wood has the details.
8 women are listed as plaintiffs in the suit, and they allege that an officer gave his colleagues keys to the women's cells for $1,000. The suit claims they, in addition to 20 other women, were then beaten, raped, and threatened with further assaults if they pressed the emergency call button. Now, former Officer David Lowe was arrested and fired before the lawsuit was filed. The sheriff's office released a statement saying this was the work of a single rogue officer, but the lawsuit alleges no officers on duty that night attempted to stop the situation despite it being on surveillance cameras. An investigation is still ongoing. I'm Bree Wood with the Black Information Network.
The black inmate convicted in a 1994 Birmingham, Alabama murder has been executed. Joe Nathan James was executed by lethal injection for the killing of his girlfriend nearly 30 years ago. Arguments to put off his execution were denied. The victim's family requested his sentence be commuted to life in prison and pled for him not to be executed.
The founding president of the now Black Public Media has passed away. Mabel Haddock died at the age of 74. Deadline reports the Black woman died of kidney disease. Black Public Media is a New York-based media arts nonprofit focused on Black experiences. I'm Alexandria Ikamoni with Ray Harris on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
When news and information comes to you from every direction, the one source you can trust the most is the commentators. You want politics? You need Kimberly Agoin. You want to be updated on the latest women's issues? Check out Yolanda Joe. Carl West has business covered. And Abdul Hakim Shabazz comes at you from the right. Listen for guest commentator every Friday. The commentators, weekdays at 9:20, 5:20, and 11:03 p.m. Only on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON. This report is brought to you by Blindster. Do you need new blinds or shades? Blindster.com offers custom-made blinds, shades, and shutters shipped directly to you at prices less than big box retailers. Blindster blinds are easy to install and guaranteed to fit. Don't overpay for new blinds. Shop Blindster today and save big. Blindster.com.
I was having a medical procedure, and I wanted to ensure my kids would get my home should something happen to me. I called attorney Ted London. He provided the land, trust, and power of attorney. Now my kids will not have to go through the probate process.
After the death of my husband, I had to get my affairs in order. I called attorney Ted London. Now my family and home will not have to go through the probate process.
773-721-3333.
Crime in Chicago continues to increase. Community and politicians must come together to make a change. No one person can solve these problems by themselves. But I believe together we can make progress. Let's provide job training, economic growth, and invest into our 77 community. Let's rebuild and restore Chicago. Vote for me for mayor of Chicago. I'm Dr. Willie Wilson, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Willie Wilson for mayor.
Have you ever thought about becoming a foster parent? Whether you are an empty nester looking to pour into another child or a family that wants to expand their love, opening your home and heart to a child is one of the most impactful and rewarding choices you can make. Discover the joys of becoming a foster parent by allowing Ada S. McKinley to guide you through the process. You will receive the resources and support you need. Visit adasmckinley.org or call 773-602-2660. That's adasmckinley.org or call 773-602-2660.
The views expressed on our programs are not necessarily those of WVON, Midway Broadcasting Corporation, or our participating sponsors.
It's time for the Millionaires Roundtable, a daily wealth building talk show hosted by America's hip hop money guru, Lynn Richardson. On the station that can make a dollar holla. The Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
You're listening to the Millionaires Roundtable. I am your host, Lynn Richardson. It's WVON 1690 AM, the Talk of Chicago, the voice of the nation, our favorite radio station. And we are creating millionaires one family at a time, one day at a time, $1 at a time, and one dime at a time. And that means you. So you've heard me say so many times, I've said it before, I'll say it again, homeownership is the foundation for building wealth. Yes, even in an inflationary economy. We have been talking about what it's going to take to get to the next level. I have been sharing basically what we've all known, and that is since World War II and even before, but specifically after World War II and after, the onset of Jim Crow and many other systematic biases that were put in place, African Americans have been, and continue to be denied access to home ownership. Right now,